Reddit ask me anything. I am a female clinically diagnosed sociopath, ask me anything. I've seen someone doing this with psychopathy and thought, maybe you have questions for the other side too. I am clinically diagnosed with ASPT, antisocial personality disorder, and following with sociopathy, and several other illnesses due to my past. Keep in mind that we are all different and not all our colors abuses act. There is a stigma, but we are still different. I'll answer your questions honestly. How happy do you feel on a day-to-day basis? What does being happy look like to you? To be honest, on a daily basis I am more bored than happy. I can feel happy, but it's not so often than others. As an example, I do feel good when my mother visits me while I am in therapy, or I do feel good when someone gets me so aggressive and I am able to just leave and walk for a while alone with music through the forest. Except that something escalates from my side. But I guess the thing that makes me happy is nature. Forests, or when I receive the message we go on vacation to somewhere I wanted. I also do feel really happy when someone who, in my eyes, mistreated me or is rude gets karma or is sad, hurt, whatever. In those situations I don't care about if they are dead or alive. When I am happy that someone feels bad, they are done for me. It's weird. I often get pissed off when people run around like happy gummy bears or that depressed donkey from Winnie the Pooh Bear. I often feel weird when people are really enthusiastic. But I wish I would see things more positive and happier too. I probably get mad due to the fact I am not happy a lot. Do you wish you weren't a sociopath? Did the diagnosis come as a shock? I mean, I showed antisocial behavior since kid ages, and due to my traumatic past it grew to what I am now. I wish I was like others, like understanding the big social norms, be in control of myself. The diagnosis did not come as a shock at all. It was rather a relief since I finally knew what was up with me, since I was an outpatient of mental wards since young age. May I ask what trauma you endured in the past? Only if you're okay talking about it. Also, which country are you from? I wrote it somewhere more specific, but altogether. Emotional, verbal, physical and sexual abuse and worse. Germany. Do you like to be alone most of the time? Do you like going to Costco? Oh, I never was at Costco. I am not American. Sorry. Hi, I have 2 questions. How old are you? And 2, if you had to imagine your future, what would that look like? For example, do you have an idea of a job you would like to do, career you'd like to follow? Currently I am 19 years old. If therapy and all this rehabilitation program the next 4 years doesn't help, either in prison or in my grave. Why do you think you'd be in prison? Majority of sociopathic PD individuals are found in the criminal justice system. Without guidance and therapy they can spiral out of control, and the things that make them who they are led them into trouble. Because if I can't control myself anymore, I'll murder someone one day. Namis, you're young still. Things mellow out with age, and for you, that means things get better. Maybe not tomorrow, or the next day, but shit gets better with time if you're working at it. It's like a rock sculpture. You can't just blow it up with explosives and have it done. You have to take a little hammer and chisel and make it into something one chip at a time. The way your brain works, you've got an abundance of mental capacity to make things work out. You're probably better equipped than most people. Do you worry you will do something that really screws your life up socially or legally? It's my understanding that a lot of sociopaths eventually learn that the best way to get what they want in life is to help other people get what they want. Being selfishly pro-social. Have you explored this? Yes, I do think about it a lot, but I don't really care. There is loads of wrath in me. I have done shit since my young age. Started with shoplifting, making fake friends and then steal their money and toys I liked back then. The only thing I really regret is that I lightly abused my dog and mice when I was like 7. The other stuff the persons deserved. Locked someone into a shed for a while. Destroying people's stuff when they offended me. Hurt people. Broke a 6-year-old when I was 10 his arm because he wouldn't shut up and ran away. Broke both of a girl's arms back. She was a fake and I accidentally turned with my bike in the curve before her. Found a girl's phone I didn't like and sent her nudes into her class chat. Locked out the principal and math teacher on the balcony because they were blatantly rude. Already grabbed the knife a few times. Ready to murder the person that wouldn't duck off in the situation. Had the criminal police search my house due to someone lying. Went against that person in court. Beck, I knew what damage I am able to do with that. Girl got sent away from her family in another country till adulthood. Only thing left is that I actually murdered someone. I do help others to make them easier to be manipulated by me. I fake empathy. I let them tell me everything about them, but always with the knowledge behind that if that person tries to turn on me, I am able to ruin their life for a while. I'm a nurse and have worked with people diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder in a secure unit. I've seen loads of unthinkable and sometimes scary things. What is the best advice you could give to professionals to work with people who have ASPD? Oh, I can only give the advice I would give some nurses here where I am sectioned. There are more illnesses than a bit of depression. Nurses here at least think they are severe, and in my head I answer shit like that with, "We will see who is severe when I stab you and your loved ones in front of your eyes." That is something what made me really mad. People underestimating you when you don't understand yourself neither. I feel often wrong because I am not depressed or not ill enough. What also helps, let them be angry. When I am angry, I wanna rant. It might be the cruelest things, or I wanna yell or just go out for a walk. That what helps me. There, you don't need someone to tell you to calm down, because I can't calm down till either something happens or I can leave. That's the best advice I can give you now due to personal incidences. Oh, and when someone says that someone else should be removed or changed from the sectioned, then it should be done, because at a certain point it's very hard to control yourself when the issue is around you and then shit does happen. Also from my experiences. That's it. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're doing well now. Thank you. I am in therapy and will be sent to a place which is like a village for mentally ill people to become better for like 4 years or something. Well, ATM, I am fine. Do you think that if you got past your issues from the past, you would be able to exhibit more prosocial behavior? I had a traumatic childhood also, and my psychiatrists have always been concerned about my antisocial tendencies. I was never fully diagnosed, but the hint was there from the doctors. They couldn't diagnose me because I was under 18. In the past, I've lied a lot and used people. I've pretty much done almost every terrible thing too. I used to get so ducking angry to the point where I felt like seriously harming someone. But instead of being blatantly violent, because I can go to jail and don't want that, I would duck with their personal lives instead. It hit them harder, and it gave me satisfaction to watch how miserable they became. Bonus points if they had no clue it was me. There were many other issues, but I won't go into them. The main point is I'm not like this anymore. I really sorted through my issues, past and present. I learned new ways to cope with my really intense feelings. And guess what, it worked sort of. I don't have a lot of friends, but duck people anyways. Maybe like 3. I have a hard time trusting people or finding them interesting. I also hate dealing with their emotions or problems. I'm terrible at relating to how they feel, but for the first time ever, I feel grateful for companions, and I try really hard not to duck them over. I felt empathy for the first time in what felt like forever last year, and I started to feel guilty for some shit that I did. It was super painful, oh my ducking god. I was grateful to ducking feel some human emotion, anything instead of rage, anger, and narcissism. But I'm hoping it becomes more frequent and continue. I still feel the, what I call evil part of myself, but I try really hard not to succumb to my past self. Furthermore, is this something that you would want? Would you want to get to a point where you could feel like other people? I felt what you wrote, and yes, maybe I'll relearn to be normal. Work through all my past again and change. I'll follow through therapy and see where it gets me. Since psychopaths are born and sociopaths are made, what traumatic experiences do you have that probably contributed to the development of your ASPD? Thank you for your answer, and sorry if I made grammatical and or spelling mistakes. I'm not a native English speaker. No problem. I got emotionally and physically abused in my childhood by my real father. I got emotionally abused from class 1 to 10, which means 10 years of constant fighting with people, verbally and physically. People who always threatened to kill me because they didn't like me. Then I started bullying a guy and it worked a lot of times, so I wasn't the main target anymore and it made me feel good. I got sexually abused by a 17-year-old girl when I was 7 and also physically abused till age 15. The first time I punched back at home and beat up my mother because when I get in that rage, it's no longer me. I can't control myself then. At age 17 in a mental ward I nearly got raped by a 33-year-old guy because I was on heavy medication but someone caught it gladly. They had to remove him from the section because I attacked him with a shard I got from breaking a plate. Then I got fixated and sent away. Yeah, that's most of it in a short form. I also have ASPD. Reading your comments I feel you may be bending the truth a bit to make your life feel like a movie. I know from experience and having ASPD that I can change my behavior and attitudes or personality as I see fit to gain the most from a certain situation. Like I can become who I need to be to gain the most from someone. Do you feel you are doing that here to gain attention? Not at all. That's truly how I am. I am diagnosed too and that is how I feel. We are all different, even in one illness. Remember that. Yes, I do change personalities indeed, but that's just a part of the manipulation and no, I did to clear up some questions, at least from my eyes. Is it easy for you to let the mask down? To be completely genuine with people who know about who you are and everything? To stop pretending? No, it's not, since as an example my parents don't understand my impulsiveness and my extreme anger and hate when something happened or someone is disagreeing with me. I am stuck with it but I'll let it out verbally on them nonetheless. Otherwise my mind would force me to do things that would end me in prison. How do you react to people who are completely calm, even in the face of your worst anger? You're cognizant of your impulsiveness. How much control of it do you have? Are you trying to have more? Difficult bonus question. How easy is it for you to grow as a person and change things about yourself consciously? It makes me more angry because I think they don't take me serious. It's in my eyes a provocation. I barely have control but mostly control enough to walk either out or into my people's safe place, but nowadays I lost a lot more control. It's literally the anger taking over. My therapist and me are working on finding ways to calm myself down when I feel the slightest bit of anger rising. I would like to have more control but at the same time I wouldn't mind killing someone at one point. Because I don't know if it's true but I think that what my mind is telling me in a way. If I would do that, I would be finally released forever. But I don't know if this is the case. If it's that easy, it's hard. It's a learned behavior. It's normal for me the way I behave. It is really hard and I don't really think I am able to change. Do you ever catch yourself doing something that most would say isn't good? Sorry if this is a bad question. Yes, probably controlling stalking close ones in a way to make sure they don't screw me over, and while looking out for that I plan worst case scenarios in my head and already start planning what I have against this person to ruin them if they do so. How did your family friends react when you told them? Might be a bad question, but oh well. There are no bad questions. They said it makes sense now and added more stuff from my childhood which I can't even remember anymore. What are your biggest obstacles in terms of masking? I'm a woman on the autism spectrum, not much younger than you. It's interesting to see the different and similar ways Aspies and sociopaths have to mask in society. The hardest thing to mask for me is anger and pain. Like pain when I have to talk about my past, it's hard for me to keep the tears in. Also, it's exhausting to always pretend to be okay. Otherwise I got used to the rest. How is it for you? The autism spectrum is pretty big, right? Have you ever had a romantic relationship? If so, how did being in love feel to you? If you felt anything at all. Not trying to sound rude. I've just always wondered and had trouble wording without sounding like an a-hole. I answered this questions like 10 times now, but I was in relationships but I didn't feel love. I tried but it never came and felt annoyed from the person after a short while and broke up. I think love or a crush I felt last time at age 8 in my class, haha. Childhood crushes. WBK. Have you ever been in any social situations where your sociopathy makes you stand out uncomfortable? That is, everyone is crying but you? Yeah, when one of my loved animals died I felt nothing. Or at school when everyone was happy to make poor children a gift, I was just annoyed that I had to give away something. Do you feel guilt or shame at all? I've heard it said that these emotions help keep people from acting on their darker thoughts. Do you not act on a dark thought because it doesn't suit your needs at the moment or because you don't want to feel emotional consequences? I do to a certain limit, but I don't act out if I don't think the person deserves it. I do not act it out because I don't wanna end up in prison. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.